Is it just me or men are really quick to downplay women's achievements? Not sure if this is a problem with the men I'm surrounded by, but I've learned that men will never be happy for me or congratulate me on my achievements. I applied to 4 universities for my master's degree and I got into all of her. She said they always have an awkward, ashamed look away moment and it brings her so much joy. I was cackling. She was hanging out with 2 other couples last week and her husband's friend kept staring at the other friend's wife and she even did it to him, so not just for strangers. Ruthless. I'm obsessed. That's all. If you are looking long enough for someone else to notice, and hard enough that you don't notice them staring at you, aren't looking at a butt, you're being rude. And I feel like some folks felt called out. Lol. Keep the glance the same length for exceptionally attractive people as you would for an exceptionally tall, dark, pale, short, hairy, scarred, blemished, amputated, or whatever person. The key that made it all click for me when I was young was this: it's not about the thoughts in your head or even where your eyes wander. It's about how your behavior affects other people. If they're catching you staring, your feelings are no longer internal. You've externalized them and made someone else uncomfortable. Honestly, what your sister does would actually help guys who want to be decent people recognize their own behavior. In a way, she's doing 'em a favor. Lol at the comments. It's okay to look at butts, yeah. That's probably not what OP was getting at. Guys, there's a difference between a subtle appreciation of a bodily feature in public and blatantly and uncomfortably staring at someone's butt like a piece of meat. I do this too. They are sometimes so creepy when they are right next to their family. Also, I believe this habit helps to watch out for women and girls. I recently saw one solo man at a bus stop staring aggressively at an elementary-aged little girl. I waited until she and her mom got on the bus and left him behind. He looked like he wanted to eat her. It was scary. My younger sister was very good at this. And she had the perfect disgusted look on her face. I can't even describe it. It just was the sort of disgust reserved for mothers disappointed in their children, and she would have random guys walking past scratching their balls, just apologizing for being gross. Lol. Came back from a walk not 10 minutes ago. The guy jogged backwards to watch me walk my dog. So obvious. I used to do that, but then the men would get hostile tbh. This comment section is so revealing of people's creepiness. JFC. Admiration versus a violation. And this is why I cover my butt. Some men are just obsessed and don't care. They make you uncomfortable. Thank you to your sister. Saluting face. I do this too. It's great seeing that pervy spark of joy leave their body. Men who do that are disappointing. Stare? No. Admire? Yes. I just don't look at people ever. It's terrifying. I do that to men looking women up and down on the street. My other trick is to sit next to someone who manspreads on public transport and also manspread until they push their legs in. I do this too from time to time. Then when our eyes meet, I'd shake my head. Like, if you like how someone looks, give them a polite. Then I remember women usually aren't seen as people to many men. Had a date ask me if I'd consider implants. I have smaller boobs, not flat-chested, and I declined. He then went on and on about how he just likes big boobs, and I used that opportunity to play armchair psychologist and talk to him about the breastfeeding habits he had with his mother. Shut that one right up. I'm a frequent flyer and the airline lounge is an especially rich environment for this behavior. I do the same as your sister W. The 50-yo first-class white males leering over their scotch. I'm a dude for what it's worth. Fuck the patriarchy. Your sister is a national treasure. I aspire to be more like her. What a total badass. Reminds me of a scene in Lauren Groff's book, Monsters of Templeton, during which a woman is having a serious legal conversation with a lawyer who won't stop ogling her chest. And when preparing to leave, she grabs her left tit and shakes it in lieu of a wave while saying, "Goodbye. Love this." I've done this for years. Especially satisfying at the gym. Marvel's stare down. I approve. Ha. I do this. Oh, I'm going to do this lol. I like that. Let's make it a national habit. My husband and I point out nice butts to each other. Hockey players are stacked. I love this. There was a TikTok video a while ago where this girl with a great butt stuck her phone in her back pocket with the camera on and recorded people checking her out. The reactions were pretty hilarious and a lot of them were from women as well, if I recall. Haha. I want to see this on YouTube. Pro tip: use the reflection of the glass in doors' windows to see where their eyes are when they're walking behind you. I'm a straight woman and I check out butts. If it's a good butt, I am hella appreciative. When I was a little girl, I would stand in front of my mom and cross my arms and glare at any creeps staring at her. They sure don't like being stared at back. I'm human, I'm going to take a glance or two, but if you're straight gawking at it, then yeah, that's weird. If I took a glance and then was being laser beamed eyed, I just laugh. Can backfire on couples if they both look. When I see guys doing the predatory stare. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. Rather than the "there goes a beautiful woman" stare, I'll put myself in between them and stare down the guy. I'm in NYC. So lots of pedestrian action and lots of opportunity. I look at butts. My wife's butt is still better to look at. So glad to know I'm not the only one. I have done this open mouth smile. As a bartender, when I'm not busy, I like to do this to people starting at the servers. It's like they can feel me starting at them and eventually look up. And we lock eyes. Then I just give them a big smile and laugh to myself. There is something kinda hot about a guy who, when caught checking someone out, just confidently looks back at you and does that little eyebrow raise and smile. I don't know why, and I'm typing this with every feminist bone in my body screaming in betrayal, but it's just something I can't deny. Maybe it's just me. Somehow it stops being creepy and just is like, yes, let's acknowledge this moment of seeing something beautiful. Can I ask a sub-question? How long is it okay to look at a butt for? Is there a 3-second rule of some equivalent? Sunglasses. People. Amateurs. Nothing wrong with checking people out. FYI, it's okay to look at butts. And suddenly I'm not so sad about being ugly head to toes. But for real. If others notice, it's definitely gotten out of hand. The problem is, I am a heterosexual female and I sometimes stare at women's butts' cleavage without even realizing it. It's not always in a creepy way. But if she's making sure to do it only to the creepy guys, then hell yeah. I look at butts. Looking forward to a staring contest with your sister. Perfect. TBH, I'd probably smile at her and give her a thumbs up. Hopefully we both appreciated the butt.